guys, how's it going? Welcome to this week's recap video. There are a couple of things I want to talk about real quick before we get into the questions from last week's video. First off is I wanted to announce the winners of our Color Blends bulb giveaway, which unfortunately has had a little bit of drama surrounding it. Yesterday, kind of midday, we started getting a ton of messages from you guys, and we quickly realized that there were a few Facebook pages that were trying to impersonate us, and they were trying to scam you guys. They were sending messages to people saying that they had won the giveaway, and then they would follow it up and ask for personal information, including credit card information. We've never had this happen before. So we started getting all like this pile of messages, and Erin was like, what is going on here? So we had to do a little bit of investigating and figure it out. Anyway, we did put up a video, a quick one on Facebook, just letting you guys know, like, we just found out that this is happening. Be aware it's happening. It's not us. It's not legitimate. We haven't even picked the winners yet. So we are working on getting those pages hopefully taken down. Thank you to all of you who have reported these pages. There's one in particular that's pretty bad, that's doing most of it, and then there are a couple other pages as well. We also have a contact at Facebook. Getting something done through Facebook is incredibly difficult. And even when you have a page, what do they call it? A partner manager. So we have a gal who's assigned to our page, and she's there to like help support us and help us with our page, and so we've let her know, and she said she was, I don't know what she's doing, but she said she was trying to help us get them taken down. So I don't know if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. And it's kind of weird because we have tried to get our Facebook page verified. I did see that in the comments quite a lot. Like, you need the little blue check mark, which yes, that would be amazing. And then I saw some comments say, get the check mark, it's super easy, but it's not. They have quite a long list of requirements that you have to meet in order to get the verification. And we don't meet one, which was, they said, I haven't been written about by enough notable sources.
Which is funny because you turned down interviews.
I do. I mean, I suppose we could have a lot more written about us, but I don't really like to do interviews. I just like to focus on what I like to do and not like have my attention split in a bunch of different ways. But we did have a long list of magazine articles and newspaper articles and like stuff we've been involved in, but apparently it wasn't enough. So we're still trying to work on that. We're verified on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I mean, that would solve the whole issue because then everybody would know which page was legitimate and which ones weren't. But anyway, yeah, so kind of a bummer. But we did randomly select winners this morning for the bulb giveaway. So there are 6 winners, 2 from Facebook, 2 from YouTube, and 2 from Instagram. From Facebook, winner of 200 bulbs is Jane Shaw. Winner of 100 bulbs is Angela Smith. YouTube winners, winner of 200 bulbs is Lori Taylor. 500 bulbs is Kimberly Hoffer. And Instagram winners, 100 bulbs to Marlon Zambrano Cruz, and 500 bulbs to Amy Hutchinson. So congratulations to all 6 of you winners. Erin replied to your comments, so when you do see that, that is legitimate. That is Erin. You 6 are the true winners of the Color Blends bulb giveaway, and I'm sorry for all of this chaos that has surrounded it. We've never had to deal with this before, so we're learning as we go. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But anyway, on to the next thing. I did want to let you guys know, you remember the aqua pots we showed you? They're from Proven Winners. They're self-watering ceramic containers. We have a few around our property kind of that we've been trying out. We've also taken a couple of them to our neighbors and planted them up there. Anyway, they are offering 15% off aqua pots through the end of this month, right?
Yeah, I just heard there's not a lot left though.
Oh, okay, so hurry.
Should
we we'll put a link down below?
We'll put a link, but hopefully there's some if you're
if you're interested in trying one out. I mean, definitely take advantage of the 15% off. Hi, sweetie. Oh, I love you. You get a haircut today at 11, bud. You excited? Whoop. Watch out for the watering can. Okay, anyway, let's move into the first video from this last week, which was a cut flower garden update tour. And I have to even remember, this last week was kind of a blur. It went really fast. I gathered sweet pea seeds in that video, I think. And then I just gave you a tour of how things are going on in that space. So Callie said, I'm sure a lot of people have asked, but is there a description or link to the red foliage hibiscus? So that is called Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus. Did I get those seeds through Floret? I might have. Anyway, they're a wonderfully easy to grow foliage plant. We will try to find where I got, it was either Floret or Johnny Seeds, and I just can't remember which one I bought it from. All right, Donna said, I was just wondering about deer. Do you have issues with them in the field? I want to create a cutting garden, but I have herds of deer cross our property daily. We do not have deer. Well, I have seen one. When was that? I saw one deer, like, it was at least 2 years ago, I think. It was so random. We were out filming some window box videos, and like, here comes a deer running through our property, and that's the one and only time I've ever seen one. If you are wanting to create a cutting garden where you have deer, I would think about some serious fencing around it. In fact, like, you should check out Impatient Gardener's Instagram. She's probably got tons of videos about it on YouTube, but she's got like some raised bed areas where she's got like fencing around it. And it's a real cool setup. So you might check that out for some ideas, because I know that she does deal with deer. Michelle said, can you pinch the drip tape before the watermelons somehow? Or are they before the pumpkins and it's a no-go? So I could technically cut the water off of some of the watermelons. I was talking about how you're supposed to cut water from watermelons in order for them to have a chance to like condense their sugars and enhance the flavor. Otherwise, you usually end up with some semi-watery tasting watermelon. I really just didn't even think about it, and I have all my cantaloupe mixed in with my watermelon, which you usually water cantaloupe just regularly. So I think I have the ability to shut off water to maybe a couple of the watermelon that are along the outer sections. I just would have to double check like where my cantaloupe are along the way, but you can get those inline valves where I could put one before and after each one of the drippers and turn it off if I needed to, so long as the cantaloupe got water. I honestly don't know if it's worth the effort at this point. It was a really good trial year out there, and that's really all this year was about for me, was just trialing this soil, trialing the space, trialing the layout, and we've had some really wonderful success. Few failures, but mostly success out there. So I'm not too worried about having like super tasty watermelon the first year. So anyway, next question is from Debbie. Can you use the high tunnel like a cold frame and winter over things in there? Or are the ends open and not able to be closed? So the high tunnel we have out there right now is open on both ends. But Aaron, you were just telling me you saw something they just came out with for the high tunnel.
Oh yeah, they have a new, like a Dutch door.
Like an end cap with a Dutch door.
Yeah.
So there's an addition. Can you just
It's
like
just an add-on? Something.
So you can retrofit. So like we could order the ends,
Yeah.
which maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe.
Order those ends so that we can keep some stuff over in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't really checked it out, but Aaron.
The question is yes.
Yes, you can. You can make it into like a cold frame, just like our other cold frame, which I always refer to as a greenhouse. I don't know. No, it's not technically a greenhouse. Greenhouses are climate controlled and such, and what we have are just basically plastic bubbles. But they do keep things a little bit more protected in the summer, because they keep them protected, like smaller things, from wind and scorching sun, and they keep things a little bit warmer in the winter, usually about 15 to 20 degrees warmer in the high tunnel than it is just when you step outside. So I think that's pretty good.
I think one thing that the Farmer's Friend calls their tunnels that I thought was good was season extenders.
I do like that. Like, so they don't even refer to it as a cold frame. It's a season extender.
Yeah.
Which I have seen people like, they'll grow straight in the ground in the high tunnel. So they'll just like put this high tunnel up and grow in the ground, and it extends it out. So that's really cool. The next one is long. Aaron, my goodness.
Yeah, I think you'll like it though.
So Aaron picks all of these comments out. I haven't even read them or looked at them before I sit down to do this video, which I think is kind of fun, but this is a beast. All right, so here we go. Depressed and Wondering said, just a casual random side note. I'm sure other viewers have told you this before, but one thing I really love about your channel is you don't have one of those introduction to the show / channel clip on every video like most other channels. Gets annoying and I skip through it all the time. And you don't tell your viewers to share, like, or subscribe to your channel like everyone else does. You just start the video with the video and you end the video by saying bye. And I love that so much. It's so non-commercial and refreshing, and I know others might say, but you're advertising so many brands partnering with you, but they're all such quality products, and because you use them for your own projects rather than using them just to advertise them in your videos, and you also explain what you like and don't like about the products from those brands, so it's not all like blowing kisses to them. Like, you'll recommend other products if what you're using is a bit on the expensive side or impractical for the average homeowner. It saddens me that not everyone can feel it, but I can feel the wholesome, genuine vibe energy from you and your family, and that makes the videos so enjoyable. Being natural in front of the camera is just a bonus at this point. And yes, gardening videos were meant for you because you're so professional, like a TV personality, except more real. No offense to gardeners who have their own TV shows. It's no wonder so many amazing brands want to partner with you, because you are just the sweetest, amazing, naturally talented gardening show host ever. kind of hard to read stuff like that about yourself. Like, that is really sweet. I wouldn't even be gardening right now if I hadn't found your channel, because I wouldn't have been inspired enough, even though I went to school for it. That is such a sweet comment. And to address like the introduction to the show channel clips, I kind of find those a little bit tedious as well. Especially if you're following, I mean, there's a couple of people that I follow on the regular, and they do have a channel intro, and I'm like, like I do try to skip through it if I can, because it gets a little bit monotonous. So we've never really done that. We've never done that, have we? We've never put together a trailer.
No, we used to just do an intro with
like just our logo.
Yeah, the logo. But
yeah.
Even that was like 3 seconds long, and I still
3 seconds. 3 seconds is too long. I just spit. I don't know where that went. Yeah, 3 seconds is too long. And then the whole like asking or telling your viewers to share, like, or subscribe to your channel. I can't do it. Like, I am the worst at self-promoting. Oh, every once in a while, Erin's like, you need to tell people to subscribe. I'm like, I can't do it. I want people to subscribe and like our videos because you actually felt like you wanted to do it yourself. Not because I suggested it or asked for it. I just can't do that. I can't even put like the subscribe, like with the little image of the subscribe. I see that on a lot of videos, or like this page. I can't even do that. Like, it just feels so insincere to me. And so we just don't do that very often. Like, I would rather our channel grow slower without that than asking for it, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it's really, really sweet to have somebody actually acknowledge that, though. I don't know. Like, I haven't really thought about it in that, like, how it comes off to other people, I guess.
I appreciate that you appreciate me.
Yeah, I do. It's so sweet. The next video was the bulb giveaway video that we announced, and that was just a really quick video we threw together. And actually, Erin just told me that in between me just talking about the bulb giveaway at the beginning of this video and now, he got an email from Facebook, and they removed not the page that was scamming people, but my profile picture from the page. So that's a step in the right direction. The page is still there, but the profile picture is just a gray random person. So at least if they're trying to scam people, people aren't seeing my face. But a new page has just cropped up called Gardens Answer.
Gardens Answer.
Garden apostrophe S, Gardens Answer official page, and it is not an official page. Okay, anyway, we gotta not focus on that. Moving on to the next video, doing a few things in my parents' garden. So I was taking care of my parents' garden while they went and visited my sister. I usually just go feed their kitties and just check their containers and their chickens and such. So I just thought, you know what, I have an extra couple of hours this afternoon. It was hot. But I thought I could just do a little something out in their garden, because it's nice to get out of your own element and get into somebody else's. And it's very peaceful out there, and so I always really enjoy myself. Anyway, I cut their corn back, made some corn bundles for my mom to decorate with. What else did I do? I trimmed up a couple topiaries. I watered their plants. I really didn't do that much, but it was fun. Gab the Chef said, I love so much watching from your parents' garden and stealing ideas. I know that you've covered quite a few subjects about general garden maintenance and operations, but I would be interested in the different ways you dispose the garden waste. Composting is one important part, but I find that there's a lot more waste, including weeds and diseased stuff, tired soil, pruned and died out trees. I find myself with an ever-growing number of piles and don't know how a well-organized garden like yours manages this. So we're actually going to get more into this here pretty quick. Erin has actually taken on this project of putting in a compost bin system, like a pretty good size one. Like, each bin will be like 8 by 8, right? And there'll be 4 bins, so you can like constantly, you know, move stuff around and get your compost working, which we haven't had up to this point. We do have our dump, our like garbage dump in the area actually has a specific spot where you can drop off all of your garden waste, and they make their own compost, which is kind of nice that you can get rid of your stuff and you don't have to do the compost if you don't want to, but it's still turned into compost, which they do sell. But it's gonna be nice to be able to do it here on our own property. My parents have a burn pile. That's how they've always handled it. It's out in their pasture, it's huge. It gets huge, and then they burn it down, and then they just spread the ash out. I don't have a lot of interest in composting myself. Like, I'll get into it because you're into it and it'll be fun to watch it, but I'm not in charge of it, and I think that's the perfect situation for me. But when you can buy baled up compost, super easy. You have access to that down at the garden center. It's so much easier to do it that way. And especially because we have a local place that will handle all of the debris themselves, and then you don't have to do it yourself. But it's always, I think it's a good thing for sure. I mean, it's a great thing to recycle your own stuff if you can do that. But I totally understand like not wanting to as well, because you have to have space for it. It can potentially smell, you know, all of that extra stuff. When you have a lot of stuff going on, like it's the lowest thing on my list that I'm interested in. Compost, houseplants. Kathy says, the sound of the fountain that you pointed out is so nice. Do you have any idea where they found it? Have you considered a video on yard fountains? We've had that suggestion, like often. I don't know, was it the big tall one, I'm guessing, that I filled up? I don't know where they got that one. It looks like a unique stone piece to me. Kelly said, am I the only one that hits the like button before I watch? I love every video so much. I want to make sure I don't forget. Thank you, Kelly, for doing that. So sweet. Jennifer said, what is the secret to putting straw on the garden pathways without it sprouting grass? It sprouts grass like a beast. You should have seen it not that long ago. We actually went out there, and because I was considering doing straw out in our cut flower garden area because I love the look of it. It's so charming. And I remember growing up, it not really, like, I don't remember seeing a bunch of weeds or, you know, a bunch of that sprouting up, but it does. And my mom's like, oh yeah, it sprouts up. Usually like twice every year it sprouts up, and I go out there and weed it, and then it's fine. Like, I don't want to weed my pathways. I don't want that mess. It was like a solid green, like you couldn't even really see straw that much.
Well, that's the whole reason that you put it down.
Right, it's to suppress the weeds, and then it creates these weeds. But she said they're so easy to pull, and it only happens a couple of times. So as long as you just take care of it after those couple of times, the rest of the season you're weed free. I'm like, well, I don't want to have weeds all season. I don't want to have to deal with that. But I love the look of it. Megan said, when you were a kid, did you play hide and seek in the garden? Yes. Looks like that garden has some awesome hiding spots. Yes, it does. It's perfect. And I cannot wait until Benjamin and new baby get old enough like to actually do that, because we still, like, Benjamin doesn't get to run around on his own, especially out there because they have a swimming pool and a ditch, and so like he is monitored 24/7 here too. Like, he's not old enough. He's 2.5. He's not old enough to go out by himself. His cousins are, he's got a cousin who's 8 months older than him, Thomas, and then Sophia, who's 7. So it'll be fun when all the kids get a little bit older and they can run around without like constant adult supervision, because boy, I have such good memories of that as a kid. Of course, the gardens were not nearly as mature when we were young, but still lots of good places. Next video was my first arrangement for my new cut flower garden, and that was such a fun video. Erin did such a good job on the videography. Good job, Erin. Alyssa said, if someone wanted to plant a cut flower garden for the first time, what seeds would you suggest they try based on ease, beauty, and harvest? Alyssa, that is a fantastic idea. And it was something that kind of crossed my mind this spring. I thought, you know what, that would be really good to do like a beginner cut flower garden series, or like this. These are the plants I would start with. Here are 10 seeds you should start with that you'll get like biggest bang for your buck, and they're really easy to grow. But I felt like I wasn't ready to do it this spring. I mean, I've had experience with many of the plants I'm growing out there, but many of them I had never experienced before, like the mahogany splendor hibiscus, never grown that before. Cresspedia, never grown that. What else? The China asters, I've never grown those from seed. So there's a lot of things that I felt like I needed to get a little experience under my belt to really share some of whatever tips or whatever. So anyway, that's a really good one to put together later, hopefully to prepare or help you guys out next spring, those of you who want to grow cut flowers. So expect that video coming up at some point. That'll be a good video to put together on a hot day like today too. In fact, today I think I'm going to go through my seeds. I've already ordered almost all my seeds for next year. And I know this video is going to seem really, really early, but I was just thinking, you know what, I'm going to have an infant next year and a toddler and our new garden space, and I don't want to have to worry about like making sure I have all the seed varieties that I want. So that's typically a video that like all of us gardening YouTubers put out in the winter, but I'm going to put it out in August because I am ready, and I feel like being organized, especially after this spring and how hard it was to get some certain varieties. I just kind of wanted to have my hands on those things I knew I wanted to grow. So that is something we'll probably do this week because it's 100 degrees today and it's hot all week. So good sit down type videos. Lori said, who are some of the Instagrammers you follow for arranging? Hold on, where's my phone? Okay, so Flower at Flower for sure. You know what? Instead of like trying to go through my Instagram to find them all, we should just do a video about that. I was actually looking through because I wanted to post an Instagram picture of like the top 9 floral people that I follow that I really get a lot of inspiration from, but maybe we'll just sit down and have a discussion about it, and I'll show you some of their profiles and explain why I feel so inspired by these ladies. So yeah, I guess expect to see that video as well, and just like, you guys keep giving me these video ideas, keep like feeding them to me because this is perfect. Old Reading Farm said, why not use floral foam more? Seems to work well. I think there's some implications with environmental things with the floral foam. I haven't honestly looked that much into it, but it's made of plastics, right? I don't know. I mean,
I think it's carcinogenics is the problem.
Oh, is it carcinogenics?
Something about that, yeah.
You know, there's just been such a huge movement, and I am not a researcher at all. And if I see that some people that I really respect, floral designers, have stopped using it, I'm kind of like, I start keying in on that. And I haven't abandoned using it altogether, but I've been searching out different alternatives, because if I can do like chicken wire in vases you can't see into, like opaque vases, chicken wire is such a wonderful frog because you can use it over and over and over again. Floral foam, you're once and done. So it's nice to use things that are recyclable and reusable. So I've just been exploring different options, but floral foam does make it way easier. I am not gonna lie, because everything stays exactly where you want to put it, and there's nothing more frustrating, especially if you're making a video out of it, if like a branch won't stay where you want it to go and it just like keeps twisting in the vase. Oh, I like start to sweat. I don't know if you guys should like pay close attention to my face during some of those arranging videos. If I'm not using foam, it's just like, it can be a little bit of a, yeah, it's a tedious experience. I don't know. It can be frustrating. DeGurley said, what did you put in your water mixture? So the water that went into that was just the water I had soaked the floral foam in, which was water that had a floral preservative in it. When I add floral preservative just into clean water, it's clear. The water stays clear, but when I soak the floral foam, it just kind of takes on that kind of greenish hue. So I had the pre-soaked floral foam that was all soaked in the water that had the floral preservative, and then I put that in the vase, and then I just topped it up with a little bit of the water that was already in there. Okay, next video was gathering things from the garden to make a wreath. And that was such a fun video. It felt like kind of like the old days, didn't it, Erin? Like I feel like our videos have kind of shifted away from a lot of crafty decor. We used to do so much with succulents. We used to do so many little crafty projects, which I kind of miss at times. I mean, we do so many like bigger scale planting and stuff, and it's fun for a little bit, but it's also fun to go back and like do a project where I don't have to do a bunch of physical work. I can just stand behind a table and do something fun. I had absolutely no vision for this project, except for I knew there was a lot of stuff out in the garden. I just didn't know exactly what, but I'm like, I've been seeing lots of pretty seed heads and things, and I'm really feeling fall just because I want this heat to go away so bad. And so it was a fun wreath to make, and it's looking beautiful. I mean, that was several days ago. Still on the back sun porch door. We had gusts, like 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts is what we got last night. It only lasted for 15 minutes, but we had a horrible 15-minute windstorm, and it still looks great. So I'm super thankful. Suzanne said, I love the wreath. It's beautiful. I know you've done videos in the past about gathering seeds to plant next year, but are you planning on doing it again? Especially with all the cut flowers on the new property. I'd love to see how you gather seeds from different types of flowers. Can you gather seeds from the Serendipity Alliums? I have one plant and would like to add more in my garden, and if it's possible to use the seeds to get more plants, I'd love it. I've never gathered them from the Serendipity Alliums, but I do know if you don't deadhead the flowers and the seeds fall on the ground, the new plants will sprout up. So I suppose, I mean, it's the same, right? Or you can, let some of them kind of seed around, and you can dig up the little starts, which oftentimes those plants are a lot tougher when you just let them start on their own, and then you can move them around. I do want to do some seed gathering this fall, but to be honest, I ordered a lot of my favorite things from this year, which I'll go over in the seed video. I ordered again because I wasn't sure how I was going to be feeling later this fall, and I just thought, just to make sure that I end up with the flowers that I want, I'm just going to have the seeds, and then if I get around to or feel good enough to go out and gather seeds, I do plan on doing that as well, and then I'll let friends and family come and gather seeds as well if they would like to. But that's the ultimate goal. I would love to kind of create this revolving process out there to where I'm not putting in huge seed orders every year, and we can kind of be a little bit more self-sustaining that way. Joy said, that's beautiful. How long does it last, or does it dry on the wreath? So all those flowers, the fresh ones will dry. I chose things that dry nicely. So that wreath will last a long time. Now, it'll last a lot longer if you were displaying it inside, away from the natural elements. So when I make a wreath like this for outside, I just expect it to last one season, because ours are subject to lots of wind, not a lot of moisture though. So lots and lots of drying wind that can batter them eventually and really make them dirty, because you should have seen it last night. In fact, I have a little video clip, but the sky was just it looked brown. Yeah. It was just dirt. It was a dirt sky. It was crazy. And so it just blows dust everywhere and makes things dirty. And so after a while, the wreaths kind of start to look tired. M. Morris said, anybody else not getting email notification when Laura and Aaron post a new video? The last 3 videos I have not been notified. Weird. So that was a new YouTube update just recently. They took away that email feature because apparently it wasn't being used and they didn't think it was worth it. But if you download the YouTube app on any of your devices, you will get a push notification, which means it comes up like a text message or like a reminder alert or whatever. So it'll come up on your device and it'll say like, hey, they just uploaded a new video or whatever. So you can get it that way. If you click the bell though, on our YouTube channel, will they still get anything, or is that gone?
No, yeah, it's just got no emails.
There's no bell anymore?
No, the bell is there.
So what does that do?
It will still send you a push notification, but it won't email you.
So
Basically,
just visit our channel every morning.
Yeah.
we post Monday through Saturdays, and then sometimes we post a random video on a Sunday. And we posted on Garden Answer Highlights too. We have a second channel called Garden Answer Highlights.
Which is where you're watching this video.
Which is where you're watching this, that's right. So we posted a video on that channel this Sunday, the Serendipity Allium one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that went up on Facebook, but it went up before that on Highlights.
I don't know
like
anything
Friday
about
or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, just check our channel every day. Why don't you have a magnolia tree in your garden? You often try to use its leaves for decoration. Won't it be good for you to have leaves at any time of the year whenever you want and don't have to pay for it? Yes, that would be ideal, but we can't grow them here. I would love to be able to do that. We can grow some magnolias, which I actually don't like very much. But the big magnolia, like the leaves that are the shiny deep green with the fuzzy brown undersides, we can't grow here. I kind of feel the same way about magnolias that grow here. I mean, they're gorgeous in peak bloom. Like, I will not lie, they are gorgeous. But when they lose, like their blooms age, it's like a hibiscus to me. They're kind of in the same category to me. When they're in full bloom, glorious. When they're starting to lose their blooms, they're such big blooms that they create, it looks like wet tissue paper. In a tree. Like, it looks like messy and dirty, and then they drop on the ground and they make a huge like mess. I don't like that very much. Johanna said, can you use Serendipity Allium to do a wreath? You can. It doesn't maintain its color quite as well. So you could you could cut it at full color stage and it will kind of brown out, but still really interesting seed heads. Those are ones, I'm not sure, like the alliums I grow in the spring, all the little like things that come out from the center, they stay really tight and you don't have to worry about them falling apart. I don't know on Serendipity Allium, it might be something you need to use a spray adhesive to make sure they stay together. I just have never tried it, but I do like that idea. And the last video is the evolution of our front flower bed. Michaela said, I noticed that in the second year of the front planter, there was a different cat. What happened to that kitty and what was his or her name? Love wraparound porches. It will look beautiful when it's done. When we moved into our house came with Dexter, who was an orange and white kitty. I don't know if he was the one in that video, but we've had 3 orange kitties. We have 2 currently, Cheddar and Russell. But Dexter came with the house and I loved that cat. I loved him. It was our first animal we'd had together as a married couple. We'd been married for when we moved in here, we've been married a long time. Anyway, he got attacked by something. We don't know what exactly, but it took me down for a month. That was so sad. He was a sweet boy. And Cheddar and Russell, you guys know them. They come in and out of videos all the time. Katie said, Laura, you're looking incredible. Thank you. Not feeling like that, but thank you. How are you feeling? I am feeling better than I was in the beginning. I still have a little bit of nausea. The hard part about this pregnancy is so different than Benjamin. Benjamin, I couldn't even tell anything different about myself until between month 5 and 6. Felt fine. I was a little tired in the beginning, I remember, but I felt fine. It wasn't showing until way later. This time I knew before I even took the test because I started feeling really sick. Smells would kind of get to me, and that I'm not like that normally, and so I knew. And then it was really hard for that first 3 months, and the only thing that settled my stomach was to eat. Everybody else is like, I lost 20 pounds in my first trimester, and I'm like, well, good for you. I don't know how much. Anyway, I haven't gained that much weight, but still, I have to keep a constant stream of food in my stomach to keep my stomach settled. It's still like that. I'll get to a point where I'm like, Aaron, I gotta stop. I gotta eat, or else I am going to throw up everywhere. Anyway, so better than in the beginning. I'm feeling, I'm feeling a little bit more energy, but definitely different this time around. Plant Facts said, why won't you propagate your Supertunia, Superbena, and Alyssum? So there's several reasons. One, I don't want to mess around with doing a whole bunch of propagation. I mean, I've done it in the past, like with succulents. We've done videos about it. With a lot of plants, though, a lot of them are patented, and it's actually illegal. I mean, not like the plant police are going to come visit every single home and be like, what plants have you propagated? Like they could even tell. So, I mean, like, do what you're going to do at your house, right? But there are people that hold patents to these plants that have bred these plants. Sometimes these plants have taken 10, 15 years to come into fruition, and they have tons of time, tons of money, tons of science behind these patents. And I feel like out of respect for these people who have worked so hard on these plants, like I just don't do a whole lot of it. And we work with proven winners too, so that'd be kind of a weird thing for me to do. Like,
It'd be kind of a slap in the face.
yeah, it really would be. And honestly, like I just don't.
I hear it's difficult too.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, a lot of times it can be difficult for certain plants, but I just don't mess around with that. There's just too many other things going on that I'm interested in, really. I do like starting a lot of things from seed, though. Did a lot for the cut flower garden. Anna Maria said, what about filming short videos with the transformation of all the areas of your garden? It would be nice to see the progress that you guys have made till now. I think that's a great idea. That was a really fun video to do. That was Aaron's idea. He's like, hey, we should go out there because I think we have planted that several, like 5 times. I didn't realize it had been 5 times. That's crazy. Because I didn't think we planted it the first year. Because I thought, I mean, we moved in May 1st and everything was kind of like crazy, but we still got it planted. Anyway, but we have a lot of areas in our garden that I think we don't even realize anymore, like how different it looked when we moved in the beginning. So yeah, that would be really interesting to do. Kim said, have you guys thought about changing the sprinkler heads on your lawn? Aaron, that's you, dude.
We're gonna rip it out. It's probably not worth the effort at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick like what's important to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a lot of stuff that just hasn't been highest on the list.
Right. Yeah, up here, I mean, as many of you know, there's the lawn and then like our front arbor area, and then there's gravel driveway, another little fence, and then our new property. All of that is going to go. Like all of it, the driveway, the fences, many of the smaller plants, the trees, of course, will stay. But we are going to be connecting the 2 properties with a big sweeping lawn and different shaped flower beds and such. So the whole sprinkler system is going to be changed anyway, as well as all the sidewalk material. So we're going to be redoing the front walk because, you know, and that's one area that Aaron and I like can't figure out what we want to do because this is the traditional entrance to the house here. It's not one we ever use. But it's just going to like go out into lawn now. So we've got to figure out how to redirect the walkway to make it look right. And we want to use the brick we've been using in other areas. We want to put a wraparound porch on the house. I mean, we have all these ideas and like fun things floating around in our heads. Who knows when it's all going to happen? Because we've been so focused on getting the infrastructure set. In fact, you guys, the landscaper that's been helping us with any irrigation stuff, he's here today, and they're getting the one last thing we had planned for the space up front was to get the irrigation system put in on the far side of the lane, like the skinny side, so that we could get grass started this spring, so that we had at least one area that had nice green grass. And then we will probably get our trees for the lane in the spring. So I don't know, just a little bit at a time. Anyway, it's kind of exciting because I can see their trucks out there. They have the big trencher going so that they can get the lines put in. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. Congratulations to all of you bulb winners. And we will try to keep you informed as to what's going on as far as what we know on all those random Facebook pages that are popping up. Hopefully we get this issue under control really quickly. Yeah, hope you guys all have a really great rest of your week.